So what we did is we got sort of before and after stories from the children that matched the original artwork that they did when they couldn't articulate the trauma that they were experiencing, to how they felt sometime later having had intervention by our child protection unit and a new painting. And one of them was a heart that was absolutely black, but it had squiggles on it which were rats and debris, and it had a garbage bin in it. It was completely full. It was a child who had been physically abused plus sexually abused, requiring long-term hospitalisation in the end. And unfortunately, it takes crisis to often be able to solve these things. And she wrote the story of that, and she had a little heart which had nothing in it. It had a tiny bit at the bottom, as if the pen had blobbed of the darkness, and it was full of flowers and trees and suns and fairies. And so we told those stories, and we went out in the media and pushed those stories.
You reduced people to tears, wouldn't you?
We have made people realise how important it is that these people don't have a voice. This is the worst form, and we made people realise that it was happening amongst them in the affluent societies, within academia, within corporate Australia. There were leaders that were abusing children, and it just turned it all around. And it's one of the best funded areas we have, and well funded across New South Wales. And the flow-on effect was government giving in funds into a whole range of areas to support child abuse initiatives or child prevention initiatives. So from one small dinner came a huge change in the community and government and perceptions. It's about being creative.
I noticed sort of within your organisational mission is to be the charity of choice. Yes. In a lot of...
it doesn't say big or small donations either.
No.
So if you've got $5 to spend, we want to be your charity of choice. Because I believe that philanthropy isn't well established, or the altruism basic doesn't exist in Australia. There's a few, but very few people that give to that extent and so freely. Philanthropy is starting to take a life of its own in Australia, but we're only at the beginning of it. And the greater part of the community, that all of what I'm saying would go over their head. So I want to provide them with an opportunity to give. So I want a ripple out effect right across the state, so that every year everybody has an opportunity to give and a reminder. So whether it's the $5 from that pensioner, or whether it is a $10,000 or $100,000 personal donation, I want to create opportunities.
Yes. I was wondering whether or not you plan your fundraising activities in liaison with other charities. So in terms of scheduling and that type of thing, or are you very much distinct and separate?
We do very few joint fundraising initiatives. Only if a donor says, I want to give my money to X and U, do we go ahead. We do everything on our own. We get approached by a lot of charities, have a good idea, and if it's going to be a benefit to my brand, our brand, I'll do it. But 90% of the time, it's actually not. They want to align their brand with ours, and I've worked too bloody hard. I've established this brand from nothing in 1996, and I haven't had a cent to spend on it, and it has never been sullied, put at risk. You know, it's like I treat our brand as I do my own children, and I really don't want to share the parenting of the brand.
So I can't help myself. One more question. If you look, because you're sticking a full stop on your time here and thinking about new things, if you were to pick out one big success and one problem that you wish you had sorted out and that you hadn't.
I don't know about big successes. Probably the key thing was of fundraising was the Crowded House Farewell to the World concert at Sydney Opera House. It's 6 weeks to organise it. It was a free concert, had nothing to do with pop concerts or anything, and we put on the most astounding event raise $600,000, get royalties from the videos and music to this day, and put our brand out there. And it's still, you know, when we got to the end of to the millennium, all the television programs and that concert was on everything as something that was the most famous thing for the decade. You sit back and know that you did it, and everybody told you you couldn't, gives you a really good buzz. Likewise, what Sydney Children's Hospital is, because I've worked very closely, I've been on the management committee, the redevelopment, and with our success has grown exponentially, the success of the hospital. So that's another, I believe that I've made a real influence on children's health, and paediatrics is a career choice. Would I have done anything differently? I debrief, but I don't look back. In theory, I would have probably limited my passion and hours somewhat, because it had a huge impact on my marriage, which broke up because of the demands of the job. Maybe I would have done that, but I wouldn't have all this. My kids are healthy and happy, and I'm remarried and never been happier, so I don't know. I don't regret much in life.
So Elisabeth, that's been absolutely fantastic, and I know that I'm going to be able to take the time that we've spent together today back to Red Kite Learning, and it's going to inspire some creative discussions within our own organisation about how we're going to develop Red Kite Learning into the charity of choice within the employment sector within London. So
well, good luck with that, and I think the fact that you have this vision of coming out and talking, or going around the world and talking to all these other charities is absolutely fantastic, and I hope there's an opportunity for it to be shared broader even than your own organisation, and I would love to see more people doing this, using the key ingredients for their own business and then sharing more broadly. And I wish you heaps of luck, and I'm sure that Red Kite will go on to bigger and better things.
We will, and I hope to see you in London.